I'm going to shake here with another big power electric blaster review. This time this is the model 532. This is quite similar as the base blaster as to a couple of others that I have already checked out in the 531 and the 536. It does come with some unique individualized accessories. The stock is different, the scope is different, and the front end is quite different. Almost looks like it has a scar muzzle on it. It's not. It's just a faux look, but it does definitely look like a really chunky scar attachment. In keeping with the trend that Big Power Electric has introduced, for the retail price of around $46 on Amazon currently at the time of this filming, and there is a coupon floating around that, at least when I looked at it, it was showing me $10 off. Not going to base my judgment on that because the coupon may or may not be there when you go to look at getting it. But for what it's worth, I was seeing a $10 off coupon on mine. So, something to keep in mind if you like the blaster by the end of the video. Maybe there will be that coupon for you. But it retails for around $46, and you get the blaster, all the accessories included here, plus 2 of these 10-round mags. You get 100 of their darts, which are the same ones, and kudos to Big Power Electric. When I gave them some feedback about the darts, they did say that we're going to take that into account and look into a solution for a different dart type. So, newer company, already producing great products, and willing to take feedback. That's a win. That's a big time new company win. But this 532, it comes with all of what we've seen. You get 100 of those darts, you get 2 mags, you get the same package of 3 of the targets, and I haven't unboxed those because I've got quite a collection of little targets, and you get the eye protection as well. So, eye protection, check. Targets, check. 2 mags, check. 100 darts, check. Oh, and each of these blasters include a manual and the included 6 AA's. I'm not using them for the test, and I haven't been. It keeps it consistent for me when I test every blaster with Rayovac high energies. That's my battery of choice. Just, I'm not sponsored by them or anything. It's just what I like to use in my own household. So, every blaster I test gets those. That's what's currently in here, and that's what was in here for my Chronograph test, in case anybody wants to ask what was used. Now, speaking of the Chronograph test, once you've got it loaded up, and you go to fire it, I averaged a grand total of 75.2 feet per second, firing a mix of darts. Simple operation as you come to expect. It is your standard rev trigger activated flywheel blaster with semi-auto operation. It has a forward mag release here in the same trigger guard. Very convenient, very simple, extremely intuitive. I don't know why more companies don't do it that way. It just makes sense. And if you have the scope off, you have one of the largest jam doors that you could ever imagine. Now, the jam door does provide decent access into the top of the mag, and nothing to complain about because I never had a jam. I actually haven't had a jam with any of the Big Power Electric blasters, despite using a pretty wide variety of ammo in it. I used everything from Nerf Elite to, well, I did fire a couple of the included darts, and they had the same about 10 FPS drop, but I fired all the major brands. Those be Precise Bros, Long Distance, the X-Shot, the newer X-Shot XL darts. I fired Waffle Tips from Adventure Force, the Adventure Force Pro darts in the full-length version. I do keep a few of those on hand for testing. Men Gun, Waffle Tips, AccuStrikes, everything, and came up with a grand total of 75.2 average feet per second, which is a solid performance rating for this blaster. It seems like a lot of these, with this same base blaster here, which if you take it apart, it looks very reminiscent of a Dart Zone Spectrum. Just my take on it. And it performs solidly. Nerf, of course, has an average of about 70 feet per second. So it is outperforming that, and that's about as good as you can ask for an off-brand. But I'm going to stop calling this thing, this company an off-brand here soon enough, I think. But the 532, it is, again, that full-size feel. However, this stock is unique to it as I'll let you see here. And if you compare it to something like, say, I have the 531, that stock is significantly longer. This is more of the traditional length of the worker stock that's based off of the Super Soaker, whereas this is about an inch shorter. Gives it a little less of the stretched out feeling that, say, the other two blasters. I just recently reviewed the 536, and then the 531 was one of the first ones that I reviewed. Those have a stock that's about an inch longer, and it really adds into the full-size persona of these blasters, where you're, even as a full-grown guy, I'm stretched out a bit to handle this, where this one here feels a little more compact. As you can see my arm here, I am a little more choked up. Not uncomfortably so, but it is noticeable, even compared to its brethren. But that's not to indict this as being compact in any way, shape, or form, because the 531 and the 536, they are full-size blasters in every sense of the way, where a guy who's 6+ feet tall would be able to, feel right at home with them. Whereas this one probably is going to suit even more people. Because if you remember, I noted in those two reviews of the 536 and the 531 that I wouldn't recommend them to a shorter, smaller, younger user. This one may be just a little more accommodating in that. I think I'd still go with the 508 over this, even comparing, apples to apples in the Big Power Electric branding. I think the 508 would still be the more compact blaster, but this one feels like maybe a little more wide appeal. But overall, the foregrip section, we'll call it, it looks like it's going to have an under rail. There is no other rail except for the one here on top that I have the scope currently situated on, and that one is a Nerf compatible rail. Again, the stock is compatible with Nerf blasters. Nerf stocks go on here, and again, you got a muzzle that's compatible, and the mag belt is compatible with all brands of full-length mags, including Nerf 25 and 35 round drums. I did test them both. It will fire flawlessly with even the old 35 round drums. Now, I've put foam blast springs in all of mine, except for one that I still need to get to. But with the foam blast springs, that provides enough, enough rotation that it can keep up with the semi-auto fire just fine. And thanks for kind of a nice setup to have this running one of these 35 round drums like I have right here behind me. That's actually a pretty solid look, especially if you go left-handed here. I actually like that quite a lot. It gives it more of the heavy assault style look and feel to it. And I think it suits the look of the blaster quite well. Note to Big Power Electric, let's see if you can make a drum. Since Nerf and pretty much everybody else has not really taken up the mantle of making drums recently. But yes, it will use them, and it works just fine. Another big kudos to Big Power Electric. Full cross-compatibility all around the board on everything. And the same quality ergonomics of all the other blasters that I've tested so far. And again, it worked flawlessly. It's cross-compatible with everything. It provides great ergonomics. It has the exact same grip as the other 500 series, we'll say. The 531, this is the 532, and the 536. All basically have a similar base blaster. And I haven't had any issues with the blaster itself. So, again, this is more of a body kit. And that's kind of what their blasters are. Once you get past the first few models, you have body kits. So if you like the looks of this really chunky stock, which has zero flex of any kind to it. I mean, this thing looks like it could be used like a sledgehammer and be good. No, I'm not saying to take a rifle stock to anybody's face. Don't do that. You'll get kicked out of every single public area that you play at if you're going to do that in a Nerf battle. So don't. And it sure looks like you could. Just don't, though. We don't want to see anybody go violent. It's supposed to be flaming foam, but this blaster, it has that kind of solid feel. This fore section, this whole front end is like rock solid. It literally feels like you could drop this off of a 3-story building, grab it, and it's going to work. That's kind of how the Big Power Electric just overall feel. Rock solid, great ergonomics, solid performance for a stock blaster at about 75 feet per second, and cross-compatible with everything. And personal note, this scope is one of the neatest ones overall for me. It actually does have a little crosshair inside of it, and it's at least somewhat functional. So for me, I really like this one. And again, they've got a solid product at what I think is a reasonable price considering what you get included at about $46. So Big Power Electric, yet another thumbs up from me. No, I'm not a salesman. I'm not sponsored. They did send this to me for review, and I do thank them for doing so. But there will be a link in the description of the video if you'd like to check this out. It just became available on their store, so have a look if you like what you see. Smug Shake saying thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.